أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين طبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه المنتجبين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. The peace and mercy and blessings of God be upon you all. The topic for this Jumu'ah is enlightenment, or in Arabic, tanweer and Iman. Before beginning, please note that the speaker is not enlightened, he is not munawwar, and he is in need of more Iman. Therefore, the speaker is not qualified to talk about this topic. But a few important points need to be made, and it is hoped that this speech is accepted as an appeal to God to purify him, enlighten him, and give him more Iman. Ameen. Inshallah. What is enlightenment? There is a famous short dua attributed to the Blessed Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. It is said that he used to recite this dua very frequently, and this dua will help in answering this question: what is enlightenment? Allahumma arini haqiqat al-ashya kama hiya. O Lord, show me the reality of things as they are. O Lord, show me the nature of things as they really are. From this we can understand that enlightenment is knowledge or experience or disclosure, or we can say realization of the reality of things as they really are, or of the nature of things as they really are. What are things? What are things? What is the world? What is this reality we are experiencing? What is the experiencer? Who is the experiencer? Who am I? What am I? These questions pertain to the subject matter of enlightenment. Now the Quran helps us here. It tells us what we are to realize. Huwa al-awwalu wal-akhiru wal-zahiru wal-batin. He is the first, the last, the outer and the inner. فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. Wheresoever you turn, there is the face of God. This is what we are supposed to realize. The realization of this is enlightenment. Here, science can't help us. With enlightenment, science can't help us. The knowledge of science can't help us. Science explores things, the material composition of things, the nature of things as isolated objects, as individual objects, as separate objects. It discounts, ignores the subject, the soul, the consciousness, the me. Reality is not just objects or the outer composition of things, but reality includes the subjects, the experiences, the souls, and the minds of everything. What is the nature of the subject, the experiencer, the soul, the mind? Science can't help us with this. If science could lead us to enlightenment, if science did result, scientific knowledge, if it did result in the realization that He is the first, He is the last, He is the outer and He is the inner, then the hundreds of thousands of scientists today would be munawwar, would be munawwarun, would be enlightened, religious, and they will be singing the praises of God, like for example Maulana Rumi, or Ibn Arabi, or Meister Eckhart, or Buddha, or Lao Tzu, or Shankara, or Ramana Maharshi. So, enlightenment doesn't depend upon science. Again, if it did depend upon science, if tanweer, if enlightenment did depend upon science, then the prophets, imams, and the past saints of all the religions will not have achieved enlightenment. In fact, science is continuously changing. Today's science will be outdated and old in 50 years' time. But religions have consistently produced enlightened masters, enlightened souls throughout the ages. Today, it is quite common on YouTube to find so called New Age gurus and teachers claiming that enlightenment is easy. All you have to do is some meditation or read or this and that book. It is not that easy. For people like me, anyway, it's not that easy. It is a journey of effort, often a lifetime of struggle with the soul. We have to purify our actions, speech, thoughts, soul, and heart. So neither science nor the so-called new YouTube, new age gurus and teachers can help us with enlightenment. So what can help us? What can help us get this enlightenment? The answer, as you all know, is religion. All the major religions of the world have the answer. In fact, mankind, primordial man, has always had the answer. In our religion, the answer to the question of how to be enlightened is faith, Iman. We are to have faith in God, the hereafter, and perform righteous deeds. And when we start to have faith in God, the hereafter, and perform righteous deeds, then He increases faith and He enlightens us, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He removes us from darkness and brings us into the light. Faith is not just a case of saying, I'm a Muslim and I believe in God and the hereafter and I do some charity. Faith is much more than belief. Faith is something that is with us all the time. It is supposed to be at the forefront of our being. Faith is actually like a reality. It's actually like a person. This means we are to keep God in our minds and in our hearts all the time, and remember death and the hereafter frequently, every day, several times every day. This faith, which is a continuous remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, must be accompanied by doing good works and changing bad habits, actions and behaviors into good ones. We have to remove vices, negativity, and hatred from our souls. The Quran gives us some characteristics of those who have faith, of those who have Iman. Those who have Iman are described in the Quran as the successful mu'mineen, the mu'minun who are successful. They are also known as the musallin, those who are prayers, those who pray. The Quran says that the believers, the successful believers, are those who are humble in prayers. This means they are present and focused in prayers, and they are aware of the object of the prayer, i.e. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The believers, those who have faith, they turn away from what is vain, what is wasteful. This includes actions, speech, and thoughts. Of course, joking and socializing and watching a bit of TV and Netflix is fine, but overdoing this can become vainful. I hope that's what I do anyway. They give zakat. They give zakat. The believers, those who have Iman, those who have faith, they give zakat. They pay the poor rate. This means they are concerned about the poor. They have the poor in their worldview. They are concerned about the poor. They guard their private parts. This includes being wary of all indecency and keeping away from all indecency, including their eyes, their ears, and their speech. Those who have faith keep their trusts and their promises. They are honest, decent people. They are vigilant about their prayers to God, which includes frequently meditating upon Him. Their prayers are also almost meditative, almost they are absent. They accept the truth of the Day of Judgment. They firmly accept and firmly believe in the truth of the Day of Judgment. They are wary of His punishment, of His wrath. They are wary of His punishment and His wrath, both in this world and the hereafter. This is the description of the believer. And by doing these things, Allah will enlighten us, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wal Asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This khutbah will be a summary of the previous khutbah and one other point to make as well. To summarize, firstly, enlightenment, tanweer, is to realize the Quran's statement that He is the first, the last, the outer and the inner. Secondly, enlightenment is not the subject matter of science. Science cannot lead to enlightenment. It does not give us the reality or nature of things at all. It gives us knowledge about them, their material composition. That's it, nothing more. Thirdly, be wary of those who say enlightenment is quick. You don't have to do anything. Just listen to me. Be very wary of these people. Fourthly, the way to enlightenment in Islam anyway is faith in God, the hereafter, and performance of righteous deeds. The way to enlightenment in all religions is purification of actions, speech, thoughts, emotions, desires, and fears. It is purification of the mind, soul, and heart. Finally, a few days ago, my teacher told me a saying of Shams Tabrizi. Shams, as you all know, was the teacher of Maulana Rumi. My teacher said that Shams said, I'm giving the sanad. My teacher said that Shams said, you are your thoughts. The rest is just skin and bones. You are your thoughts. The rest is just skin and bones. What you actually are is just your thoughts. You are just your thoughts. The rest is skin and bones, which means the rest is nothing. It's just skin and bones. We need to realize this. I am just my thoughts. The skin and body is not us. They will testify against us. وَقَالُوا لِجُلُودِهِمْ لِمَا شَهِدْتُمْ عَلَيْنَا. And they, the people on the Day of Judgment, will say to their skin, why have you testified against us? This skin, this body is not us. So you are just your thoughts. According to religion, there are categories of thoughts. And there is a hierarchy between these categories of thoughts. The lowest type of thoughts is about our sense experiences, my sense experiences, my particular life, what I am going through, what I am seeing, what I am hearing, what I am smelling, what I am tasting. My own particular, me, my thoughts. The lowest type of thoughts are about my sense experiences. The lowest type of thinking is when I think about my sense experiences, my past, my immediate past, or my far past. This is the lowest type of thinking. Higher than this is the category of general thoughts about sense experience. It's still about sense experiences. It's still about tasting, seeing, touching, smelling, but it's general thoughts. It's not my particular thought. This general thought applies to everybody. This category of thoughts is known as knowledge in the sciences, sociology, anthropology, and so on. Higher still, there's another category. The other category of thoughts that is higher than this is thoughts that classify as theological or religious knowledge. This includes the knowledge of the prophets, imams, and saints and their teachings about the hereafter, their teachings about akhlaq. These thoughts, these special thoughts, the thoughts of these great personalities, they pertain to our mind and our soul and our heart, and not mainly, and not sense perceptions. This is why they are applicable and they are effective in every time and place. Here we are talking about theological and moral knowledge. We are not talking about laws and regulations which are contextual. Laws and regulations are contextual. But akhlaq and the theological knowledge, this is, you can say, much more universal, much more universal. And the highest category of thoughts, the highest category of thinking is thoughts about God, which includes contemplating God, remembering Him and calling Him. And this is why, because it is the highest level of thinking, and it is the thinking that will save us. It is only this thinking, the thinking about Allah, my Lord. It is only this thinking that will save us. And this is why there is great emphasis of dhikr of Allah in the Quran. The Quran says, remember God a lot. Remember God morning and evening. Remember Him sitting, standing, and when lying on your sides. Do His tasbih in the morning and evening. Everything is doing His tasbih. Therefore, the lowest thoughts are those to do with my own petty sense experiences, my own personal life. And the highest thoughts are to do with God, that is, contemplating Him, mentioning His name with feeling, talking to Him, thanking Him, praising Him, and so on. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enlighten us and increase us in Iman, to make our tongues be involved with His dhikr continuously and devotionally, and to make our hearts be enthralled with His love. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to aid us, humankind, to resolve the conflicts that we are engaged in throughout the world and for peace to prevail. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to look after the people of Iran, Pakistan, Israel, Palestine, and North Korea, to oust the tyrants and oppressors, and to give the people prosperity in every respect. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sins, the sins of all who are in this world, and the sins of all who have moved on to the next world. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give shifa to all who are in need of shifa, and to give sabr to all who are in need of sabr. Please recite one Surah Fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahus samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Muhammadin al-Mustafa. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ala aliyan al-Murtada. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ala Fatimah az-Zahra. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala al-Hasani wal-Husaini sayyidi shababi ahli al-Jannah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad وعلى أئمة الهدى ودين الحق من ذرية الحسين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على